Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moments. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Flame Emperor episode number 70 based on novel. So let's start. These people's visions don't seem right. Xiao Yan's huge soul power also discovered the other named disciples in this hall. Although most of them are powerhouses in the late stage of the 4-star Do Emperor, many of them have reached the level of the 4-star Do Emperor is at the perfect level, but obviously, the people in the 3 battles are already the strong representatives of their named disciples. Once they are defeated, then there is no hope for them to join the burning incense pavilion. It seems that a war is inevitable, but Xiao Yan also said slowly in his heart, and then slowly squeezed the milky white light that had been brewing for a long time in his palm. In the palm of the hand, the milky white light is the formation condensed by the core inscription of God movement. Damn it! I didn't expect the newcomer to be so strong this time. Zilian also faced Xiao Yi's crazy attack, and then she could only protect herself, and immediately cursed fiercely. Xiao Yi on the side also launched a crazy attack on Zilian. After all, Xiao Yi just woke up as a fire elf, and she is not familiar with the control of fighting chi in her body, so there is no doubt that Zilian has the initial strength of the 5-star fighting emperor. It became Xiao Yi's best trial stone. Damn, we can't dodge like this. The 10 4-star Do Emperor perfection level powerhouses also realized something, and then prepared to fight back. It's just that the 10 4-star Do Emperor consummation level named disciples were also extremely embarrassed by the green flute's 3 little snakes, and there were many scars of varying degrees on their bodies. Obviously it was caused by the terrifying corrosive power in the little snake. Cough, cough. Green flute also coughed a few times, and then the 3 little snakes were instantly taken back by her. Are you alright? Mu Feng also said. It's okay. It just consumes a lot of vindictive energy. Green Flute also said softly. Leave the rest to me. Mu Feng also said, and then the wooden sword in Mu Feng's hand glowed with dazzling dark blue light, and Mu Feng also began to mutter in his mouth. Yin-yang gossip, the law of heaven and earth. The weak retreat. Mu Feng said viciously, and then a mysterious blue-colored force containing a powerful wind rushed towards the 10 people in front of him. Fast back. The 10 4-star Do Emperor consummate powerhouses also hurriedly retreated when they saw this, and then began to condense a Do Chi barrier on their surface to protect themselves. After all, this Mu Feng's attack should not be underestimated. But it was more because the 3 little snakes of the green flute had been chasing the 10 of them and spraying out some highly poisonous fighting chi. The 10 named disciples had to use a lot of fighting chi in order to resist the poison, because they also knew, once the terrifying poison enters the body, then the consequences? In the light of serious injuries, in the worst case, he fell on the spot. Although I can't say why, but the 10 named disciples, with their 4-star Do Emperor perfection level strength, can feel that the 3 little snakes are definitely not that simple. Moreover, in conjunction with the Medusa family, there are some pets that are so powerful that they are comparable to those of human beings, so they have to be guarded. Therefore, it took a lot of vindictive energy to deal with the 3 little snakes of the green flute, and now dealing with such a terrifying attack as Mu Feng, it also felt powerless. Boom boom boom. Mu Feng's terrifying attack also caused some injuries to the 10 named disciples, but Mu Feng also knew that although his attack was powerful, the targets of his attacks were scattered. After all, they were 10 named disciples. Then Mu Feng also has the confidence to seriously injure him. If there were only 10, Mu Feng's attack power would be greatly reduced. Damn it! Li Zi also saw the state of the other 2 places, and then did not hesitate. The aura suddenly burst out from her body, and she said that she would back away Mu Yingying who was fighting with her. If that's the case, then we can't blame us. Everyone. Condensation. Li Zi also spoke slowly. Because of the strength and eyesight of Li Zi's 5-star Do D in the early stage, it is natural to find that even if these 2 battles are exhausted, the result of winning is very small. But they are not alone. There are 128 of them. They are a whole, and in terms of cooperation ability, these people are also out to kill ghosts all year round, so they often form teams, and as for cooperation, they are extremely tacit. Roar! Deafening voices also gathered from all directions in the hall, and then an extremely terrifying aura instantly filled the hall. This? Mu Yingying was also stunned by this sudden scene. What is this? Mu Feng and Ludi also found out that the 10 named disciples who were fighting with them also rushed towards their large army. Excluding Li Ji, there were 127 strong men in front of them. At this time, in the hall, the 127 named disciples slowly condensed their fighting chi, and the terrifying fighting chi filled the entire hall in an instant, and I saw them standing up in a row. That height is 10 stories high? The highest place is where Li Zi is, followed by Zi Lian and an unknown disciple, and then 10 named disciples. There are 10 floors. A total of 127 named disciples form a huge human wall. However, even Xiao Yan was greatly surprised by its sturdiness. Ghost craving formation. Li Zi also shouted loudly, and then those huge fighting chi instantly converged into a huge energy figure, which enveloped the full 127 named disciples. HMPH, I really underestimated you before. But since we have joined forces, there is no chance. Accept failure. Li Zi also laughed. Despicable. The green flute on the side also said that his face was not very good. Obviously, he also felt a terrifying fluctuation from this huge energy giant. The lips are dead and the teeth are cold. This is our only chance to join the burning incense pavilion, so it's despicable. Be a little mean, as long as you can win. Li Zi also said slowly. Okay, it's time to end you guys. I remember that the last time I was cracked by a little monster tilde I didn't join the burning incense pavilion, but you don't seem to be that much this year. Good luck. Li Zi also said. Xiao Yan was surprised to find that when Li Zi said a few words about last year's little monster, his eyelids jumped violently, which obviously left him a very unforgettable scene. It's troublesome now? Mu Feng also said solemnly. Obviously, the power contained in this terrifying energy giant is probably not something that the 5 of them can resist. Don't worry, leave it to me. Xiao Yan also smiled slowly, and then waved his palm viciously towards the huge energy giant. At the same time, Li Zi also discovered that there was a milky white light from Xiao Yan's hand, which was directed towards their energy giant composed of 127 people. What is that? Li Zi also had sharp eyes, saw Xiao Yan's every move, and then said slowly and solemnly. It's a mystery. Zi Lian also said impatiently. Careful. This milky white light seems to be a little wrong. Li Zi also said in a deep voice. It was obvious that Li Zi was able to get to this point not only by brute force. Good boy, 5,500 core inscription battle formation masters. The old man in the hall was also extremely shocked to look at Xiao Yan, who was smiling, and at the same time, a more proud smile also appeared in the old man on the body. It seems that this kid can be a practitioner of that plan. The old man also laughed. Shabu shabu. The milky white light in Xiao Yan's hand flew towards the energy giant composed of 127 people, and the next moment, when the milky white flame light approached, a scroll-like thing slowly spread out and then suddenly turned into a huge milky white flame formation slowly surrounded the energy giant. This is actually a formation. Li Zi also shrank his pupils tightly, and then stared at the terrifying flame energy surrounding him in disbelief. Li Zi also tried to break free from this formation, but found that he couldn't break free, and he was not doing useless work. Even if they are under the protection of the energy giant, they can feel the horror of this formation composed of flames. The raging flames surrounded the energy giant, and the terrifying temperature also caused some weak people to have some strangeness. Obviously this flame is also unusual. Reciprocity. Xiao Yang also said slowly to that Li Zi. Damn boy. At this time, Li Zi was also extremely angry, and then roared at Xiao Yang. Their energy giants, which are composed of 127 people's fighting chi, show that it is to gather the fighting chi in their bodies together to form an energy giant. With the huge power of the energy giant, it is quite simple to deal with some ghosts. The power of the ghosts is enough to kill ghosts with one blow, so these named disciples also killed many powerful ghosts with the help of ghosts. I just didn't expect that Xiao Yan would be recruited here. This is Battle Formation Master? There was an expression in Mu Shuzi's dull eyes that couldn't be concealed. Obviously, after the milky white flame light that Xiao Yang just swung out shrouded Li Zi and the others, Mu Shuzi also discovered it. No wonder Mu Shuzi was so surprised. Because when Xiao Yang joined their human palace, he also knew that this Xiao Yang was the twin who used the strength of some powerhouses with the initial strength of the 4-star Do Emperor, and actually killed the twin who was comparable to the human 8-star Do Emperor powerhouse. Ghost Emperor. Although the twin Ghost Emperors were seriously injured, they were also real 8-star fighting emperors. So Mu Shuzi also wanted to see what cards this guy had. Moreover, Mu Shuzi also knew that this Xiao Yang was not only outstanding in strength, but also had excellent medicine refining skills. The current Xiao Yang is already an alchemist at the peak of the 1st Emperor rank, and only one step away is enough to set foot on the 2nd Emperor rank alchemist. Do formation masters are rare, but compared to pharmacists, they are extremely rare. Now that there is another battle formation master, it is no wonder that Mu Shuzi is so surprised. After all, if a person cultivates hard in one direction, it is reasonable to achieve something. It's just that Xiao Yang seems to be a little different. Not only was his strength extremely outstanding, but his medicine refining skills were even more powerful. Even if Xiao Yang was thrown into the Pill Valley, there were only a few people who could compare to him. And now, coupled with the identity of the battle formation master, this Xiao Yang's identity is somewhat powerful and terrifying. This is really a little monster. It seems that my temple has been silent for so many years, and it's time to relapse. Mu Shuzi also muttered while looking at the hall. His eyes were full of fire. Mu Shuzi also had confidence and cultivated Xiao Yang into a party overlord. That's... Just when Mu Shuzi had a plan in his heart, he suddenly found a figure above the hall. Although the figure was very vague, it was still discovered by Mu Shuzi. Old Zhu, you. Mu Shuzi also spoke slowly. Hush, hush, hush. The people above the hall also made a gesture to Mu Shuzi, and then continued to watch the battle in the field. Even Zhu Lao is here, but Zhu Lao is cultivating spiritual power. It seems that this Xiao Yang... After speaking, Mu Shuzi also smiled slowly, but there was something in this smile. Bad intentions. The battle in the main hall was also at a fever pitch at this time. I saw a few people beside Xiao Yang slowly beside Xiao Yang, and then Xiao Yang disappeared in place in the next moment. Since it is a formation, the core of the formation must be taken over by someone else, otherwise it will not be able to exert the maximum strength of the formation. At this time, in the hall, a human wall composed of 127 people occupies a space of 10 feet. The energy giant is also 10 feet high. Xiao Yang's flame formation surrounded him. It was just right, no more than 1 point. Boom, boom, boom. Break it for me. Li Zi also controlled the energy giant and slowly attacked the space around him. The energy giant contained the fighting chi power of 127 named disciples, and it was reasonable to say that it was extremely easy to deal with these 5 people. But where did he think that Xiao Yang would cast a formation out of thin air, trapping their last resort in it? At this time, the energy giant was trapped in Xiao Yang's formation, surrounded by flaming flames. And the strange thing is that no matter how powerful the attack Li Zi launches, it seems that he can't break the formation. And it seems that the power is absorbed by the flames. Don't waste your time. Early admit defeat. Xiao Yang also said slowly. I'm afraid that you won't succeed. Li Zi also shouted loudly, but Xiao Yang's formation gave Li Zi a very strange feeling. Xiao Yang seemed to be everywhere, and his voice came from all directions. Some formations will have some central existence only if the central formation is destroyed. This formation will also be self-defeating. Zi Lian seems to remember something, and speaks to Li Zidao. The center of the formation? Li Zi also said in a deep voice, and then his eyes slowly looked at himself. At this time, the energy giant was surrounded by raging milky white flames, and it was difficult to find the center of the formation. Hey! Then it's over. Xiao Yang's voice also came slowly, and the next moment, countless Xiao Yang appeared in the formation, And at the same time, countless Xiao Yang's pupils opened in the formation. The terrifying breath is also instantly diffused. Condensation. With a light snort, the countless Xiao Yang in the formation also moved their palms at the same time, and terrifying fluctuations of fighting qi emanated from each Xiao Yang. Go! A coercive voice also appeared, and then the terrifying power in the palms of countless Xiao Yang also attacked the energy giant instantly. Boom boom boom. Although the energy giant was formed by the condensed fighting qi of hundreds of named disciples, but now it is also in Xiao Yang's formation, and the power that can be exerted is extremely limited. Under Xiao Yang's attack, it is also without attack and self-destruction. It fell apart. As the energy giant dissipated, the hundreds of named disciples also lost their fighting spirit, and then like a plate of loose sand, the human wall collapsed instantly. We lost. Li Zi also spit out a few words with difficulty. Although they don't want to admit it, the strength of this kid named Xiao Yang in front of them is extremely terrifying. In the end, they were in the formation to face Xiao Yang's attack. If it wasn't for Xiao Yang's sudden withdrawal, then the hundreds of them the named disciple will undoubtedly be seriously injured. This Xiao Yang really convinces people with virtue. We lost. Li Zi's pale face was imprinted in the hearts of many named disciples. They seldom saw Qiong Ru Li Zi's emotions like this. Li Zi's voice spread throughout the hall, and there were many voices in it. Not reconciled. The many named disciples around Li Zi also had unwillingness in their eyes, but more of them were helpless. What they look like now is something they could never have imagined. Originally, the winning ticket was in hand, because that kid named Xiao Yang turned the tide and defeated them in one fell swoop. Could it be that this kid named Xiao Yang is really the Xiao Yang who killed the twin ghost emperors? Otherwise, how could there be such a terrifying combat power? However, although everyone was surprised, since they were defeated, they could not change this fact anyway, so they also lost their qualifications to join the Burning Incense Pavilion. Hey, let's go. Li Zi also stood up slowly, and then said something to the people around him. Yeah. The people around Li Zi also responded. Obviously, although he lost, he was unwilling, but if he lost, he lost. His skills were not as good as others, so he could only practice harder and wait for the next challenge. Ha ha, wonderful. Mu Shu also stepped forward slowly, and then his palms also bulged. Uncle Mu, don't they have a chance? Mu Yingying also asked unwillingly. Obviously, from the battle just now, Mu Yingying also discovered that although these named disciples were a little arrogant, their hearts were not bad. If they could join the Burning Incense Pavilion, they would not be a weak force. Rules are rules. This rule is not only in our Incense Pavilion, but also in other super sects. Many named disciples have made a lot of contributions to the sect to become named disciples. Named disciples have the qualifications to challenge real disciples. Once they succeed, they can also join the sect, but if they fail. Mu Shuzi also spoke slowly, obviously the meaning of the words was obvious. Hey, there's no other way. Mu Yingying also shook her head, then looked at the people in the hall. She could see that Mu Yingying was really trying to find a way for these named disciples, not mocking. It's a fatal flaw and a fatal flaw. Xiao Yang also looked at Mu Yingying's actions and murmured. Obviously, this Mu Yingying should rarely come into contact with the cruel world outside, so her temperament it is also as white as a feather and not stained with dust. These actions of Mu Yingying were naturally seen by Li Zi. These disciples of Fenxiang Pavilion really deserved their name, not only their strength, but also their temperament. Li Zi also laughed, obviously infected by Mu Yingying's actions, and his impression of the disciples of Fenxiang Pavilion also improved. Xiao Yang, he really deserves to be the one who killed the twin ghost emperors. Li Zi was silent for a while before continuing. If you fail, you have to face it gracefully. I look forward to seeing you shine in the sect competition. Li Zi also said slowly, and then slowly walked out of the hall with a group of named disciples behind him. Since it has failed, it is self-inflicted to stay there. It is better to leave early, so that you can walk more casually. Hee, it's really 5 terrifying little guys. Mu Shuzi also said to the only 5 remaining people in the hall. It is rumored that every new disciple who joins the super sect will receive a lot of resource rewards from the sect. I don't know what reward Mu Shishu gave us. If you just come with a few Do-D pills. Mu Feng also smiled slowly. Did you get the Do-D pill at random? Mu Shuzi also rolled his eyes at Mu Feng, and then said disdainfully. You must know that this Do-D pill is enough for the powerhouse below the 5-star Do-D to take it, and it is a kind of elixir to raise a level abruptly. Do-D strong people can only take one in their lifetime, and they will develop resistance and have little effect when taking them. But this can't hide the powerful appeal of this Emperor Do pill. After all, to cultivate some outstanding disciples or descendants, high-level pills are often hard to come by. A few people around also smiled when they heard the words. Since it wasn't a reward like Do-D Dan, what would it be? Immediately looking forward to it. What is that? Xiao Yang also raised a strong interest. When he just fought against the hundreds of named disciples, Xiao Yang knew that this should be the experience given to them. After all, Mu Shuzi also said. In their burning incense pavilion, if you want to get a lot of resources, the first thing you need to do is to have enough strength to get enough resources to quickly improve yourself. The survival rules of the Fenxiang Pavilion are also extremely severe, but there is no doubt that the quality of the disciples of the Fenxiang Pavilion is also extremely good. Do you know the purpose of those people just now? Mu Shuzi also sold Guanxi, and then said slowly. The people just now should have the qualifications to join our burning incense pavilion, so I want to test us. Green Flute is also very playful. You're right. But the most important thing is to select outstanding disciples. The number of people in each of the 3 halls of our burning incense pavilion is also extremely small, but there is no doubt that each of them is a unique powerhouse. But don't forget, our Fenxiang Pavilion is one of the 9 super sects, and there are countless people who want to join our sect, so in order not to directly reject them, we also have the status of named disciples. There are countless named disciples in the 9 super sects tilde, but the chances of successfully joining the sect by virtue of the named disciples are close to 0. As for the named disciple who just fought with you, it's just the tip of the iceberg among the many named disciples in our Fenxiang Pavilion. The purpose of this challenge is to prove the excellence of the disciples who joined our Fenxiang Pavilion, and secondly, it is also to cut off their delusional desire to join us. After all, although our Fenxiang Pavilion has a small number of disciples, it is better to be short than excessive, so I will definitely not accept a person of mediocre qualifications. Otherwise, it will waste their time and ruin the reputation of our Fenxiang Pavilion for many years. Mu Shuzi also murmured, and his voice was full of unquestionable majesty. Sure enough. Xiao Yang also shook his head when he heard the words. Obviously, Mu Shuzi's words, he had already guessed it just now, but there were still some changes in his heart when he heard it. Although this burning incense pavilion is a treasured place for cultivation, it is also a place where talents gather. Xiao Yang believes that those who can join this burning incense pavilion will definitely not be ordinary people. At this time, the blood that had been silent for many years in Xiao Yang's body seemed to be ignited at this moment. Because Xiao Yang has also found the passion for cultivation, Xiao Yang has absolute confidence, breaking out into the world in the Fenxiang Pavilion where talents gather today. Okay, then it's time to give you the reward for joining the sect. Are you ready? Mu Shuzi also said slowly. Yeah. The 5 responded in unison. Xiao Yang also discovered that the door of light in the center of the hall was slowly opening, and then a rather familiar force also permeated from the door of light. The energy in this door of light seems to be familiar. Xiao Yang also stared at the door of light in the hall in front of him, and then spoke slowly. This breath. It seems to be a bit similar to when you fought the Soul Heaven Emperor on the Dochi continent. Xiao Yi also remembered something, and said. The body of Do-Di. Xiao Yang also shrank his pupils tightly, and then stared at the door of light in front of him, because Xiao Yang also suddenly remembered that the aura in this door of light was the same as when he used it on the Dochi continent. The body of the Do-Di that came out is quite similar. Yes, this is the Do-Di river, which is specially used to condense the body of Do-Di. Mu Shuzi also brought the 5 people to the side of Guangmen slowly, and then slowly guided the 5 people. Do-De-He. The body of a fighting emperor? What are these things? Mu Yingying also asked in a puzzled manner. Seeing the look of confusion, it was obviously the first time she had heard of it. Xiao Yan also frowned, obviously finding that Mu Yingying doesn't seem to know a lot of things, and she doesn't know anything about her attempts as a human being. Is this a fool? Of course, Xiao Yan wouldn't think that Mu Yingying was a fool. After all, Mu Yingying's 4-star Do Emperor perfection level strength, if it was a fool, it would be impossible for her to cultivate so fast. The so-called Do Di River means that it has access to many independent spaces. These spaces are connected in all directions, but without exception, entering it can condense the body of Do Di. Do Di Hanoi has a special power, enough for you to condense the body of Do Di. As for the body of Do Di, it is to increase your attack and defense power by geometric multiples, and to form a huge energy body on the surface of your body through special techniques. Mu Shuzi also smiled slowly. No wonder. Xiao Yan also remembered that when he was in the Dochi continent, the reason why the Soul Heaven Emperor could condense the body of a bleeding emperor was largely due to the records of their ancestors of the Soul clan, so he could condense it. As for Xiao Yang himself, it is because of the ancient Emperor Tuosha, so he can also condense the body of Emperor Yang. However, in order to suppress the Soul Heaven Emperor's soul power, he also completely burned the body of the Do Emperor, and completely suppressed the Soul Heaven Emperor. Therefore, Xiao Yang also lost his body as Do Di. However, Xiao Yang also found that since he came to the Xianling continent, he rarely saw other people using the body of Do Di. Haha, even on our Xianling continent, there are not a lot of people who can use this Do Emperor. Mu Shuzi also seemed to have noticed Xiao Yang's doubts, and then said, although the body of Do Di is powerful, it is a symbol of a strong Do Di, but without Do Di River, it is difficult for ordinary families to condense. Therefore, there are very few strong people on our Xianling continent who can display the body of Do Di. And the preciousness of this Do Di River, other than our Xian Santian super sects, no other big family is qualified to own it. On the one hand, this Do Di River must be opened up by Doxian powerhouses, and on the other hand, the things this Do Di River needs are too precious to be measured by money. Mu Shuzi also said slowly. I've heard about the symbol of a strong Do Di, the body of Do Di. I can't believe that I can see Do Di River today. Mu Feng also smiled slowly, but there was something in his voice that couldn't be concealed. Happy. Others don't know the body of this Do Di, but he, Mu Feng, is very clear. There are two levels of powerhouses who have condensed the body of Do Emperor and those who have not condensed the body of Do Emperor. A strong person who has condensed the body of a Do Emperor, even if it is only in the early stage of the 4-star Do Emperor, is enough to rely on the body of the Do Emperor to resist the attacks of the strong in the early stage of the 5-star Do Emperor and remain invincible. This is the most terrifying aspect of Do Di. It's actually the body of Do Di. Green Flute couldn't hide her surprise, her jade hand raised slightly to cover her lips, so as not to express too much surprise. The Green Flute belongs to the Medusa clan, but this does not conceal her strength as a Do Di. Their Medusa clan can also be condensed into a Do Di. However, the preciousness of the Do Di River, even with the background of their Medusa clan, cannot be established, so there are very few strong people in their Medusa clan who have the body of Do Di. So how could Green Flute not be moved by the Do Di River that is now in front of Green Flute? Moreover, the Green Flute also has a temper. When he joined the Fenxiang Pavilion, he was attacked by the Xianling King. It is impossible to say that he is not angry. Although the Medusa clan and the Xianling royal family have a great blood feud, the Xianling King dares to take the shot directly, so the Green Flute also has a grudge in his heart. The body of a fighting emperor? Xiao Yi also muttered obsessively. Obviously, Xiao Yi also knew the horror of Xiao Yang's body as Emperor Yang, so she was looking forward to it. Because the current self is also a part of human beings, it is also a matter of course to cultivate the body of Do Di. Okay, when I explain it to you, let's enter it. The body of the Emperor Do is the symbol of a strong Do Di, but not every strong Do Di can display it. Only after entering the Do Di River and condensing it can it become a major fighting method for you. The body of Do Di is divided into 10 grades. The first grade is the most clumsy, but most of them are the 4th and 5th grades. I remember that the most outstanding disciple who joined our human palace last time was the 6th rank Do Emperor. I wonder if you will be more perverted than this time. Mu Shuzi also said slowly. But before Mu Shuzi's voice fell, he noticed the expectation of the 5 people around him, and then shook his head. Remember, the people who exist in the Do-Di River are all strong people. If you are lucky, you can meet some Do Emperor bodies of overlords. If you can get the Do Emperor body of Do-Di, it will have different degrees of influence on your future cultivation. The benefits. Mu Shuzi also said loudly. Okay, let's all get in. I will wait for you here until you successfully condense the body of Do-Di. Mu Shu's voice echoed in the hall. Let's go. Xiao Yan also exchanged glances with the people around him, then turned into a milky white flame, and went straight into the door of light. Or Do-Di is more suitable. This Do-Di river has existed for thousands of years. I don't know if the most terrifying 10th grade Do Emperor still exists. After so many years, maybe it's still incomplete. Mu Shuzi also shook his head, and then the old man above the hall also slowly came to Mu Shuzi. When he condenses the body of Do-Di, maybe I will take him out. The old man who Mu Shuzi called Zhu Lao also said. Well, no problem. Mu Shuzi also said with a smile, if Xiao Yang, such an excellent seedling, was taken by Lao Shu, he would be relieved. Reporting to my king, the things in the imperial pool have been processed, and outsiders can enter. A soldier also respectfully said to King Xianling. Send someone to send a letter to Burning Incense Pavilion. Since you agreed, you can't break the rules. But you Burning Incense Pavilion won't be jumping for a long time. When I get the 9-colored sky-swallowing python, it will be the day when your Burning Incense Pavilion and the Medusa clan will be destroyed. King Xianling also laughed. This Do-Di river seems to be a little different. As soon as Xiao Yang entered the Do-Di river, he felt an extremely warm aura coming towards his face. Then at the same time, Xiao Yang's huge soul power was also covered, and he found that there were many light clusters around him, and there seemed to be something in the light clusters. Many light groups stared at Xiao Yang eagerly. Originally, I wanted to find Do-Di to condense the body of a Do Emperor for you after you joined the Fenxiang Pavilion. After all, this body of Do-Di is a great way to save your life. The voice of my own master Jin Longwang was also the same. The echo echoed in Xiao Yang's mind. Where are their people? Xiao Yang came back to his senses and suddenly found that Mu Yingying and the others had disappeared without a trace. Don't look for it, this Do-Di river is an independent space. When they entered, they were immediately teleported, so you can't find them. The Golden Dragon King also said slowly. Just when Xiao Yang was stunned, an invisible force in the surrounding white space was viciously grabbing at Xiao Yang. Seeing this, Xiao Yang also hurriedly activated Do-Di to resist, but no matter what Xiao Yang did struggling, but also unable to escape. Humph! Just because you are a 4th-rank fighting emperor, do you want to accept my disciple? The Golden Dragon King snorted coldly, then waved it casually, and a terrifying wave suddenly dissolved the invisible power. Xiao Yang was also gasping for breath. Obviously, the invisible fluctuation just now, if it wasn't for his master, the Golden Dragon King, I am afraid that he would no longer be here now. Master, where are we going now? Xiao Yang also said. The place where you are now is the entrance of this Do-Di river. At this entrance, there will be some light groups with Do-Di's body randomly, and Do-Di's body in the light group. They were all strong before their death. He has been sojourned in the Do-Di river by special means, waiting to find someone who is suitable for him and bestow his body as Do-Di, so as not to let his unique skills be lost. This is also a kind of rebirth in disguise. The Golden Dragon King also continued to speak. However, there are 2 ways to obtain this Do Emperor's body. One is to rely on one's own strength to condense it out. The Golden Dragon King also smiled slowly. What about the other kind? Xiao Yang also asked in doubt, then stared at his master, the Golden Dragon King. Another kind? It's just a loan. In other words, it is to obtain the body of a Do-Di who lives in this Do-Di Hanoi. The Golden Dragon King also laughed. What's the difference between the two? Xiao Yan also wondered. Obviously, he knew very little about Dou Di's body, so he opened his mouth. The difference between the two is that the body of the Dou Emperor that you condensed is very compatible with yourself, and it is quite handy to fight, but with your current strength, the body of the Dou Emperor that you condense, at best, will not more than 6 grades. As for obtaining the body of the Dou Di of this Dou Di Hanoi strong man, whether it is formidable or tyrannical, it is far superior to what you condensed yourself. So what's your choice? The Golden Dragon King also stared at Xiao Yan with a smile, and said jokingly. Naturally it's the latter. Xiao Yan also laughed slowly, and obviously understood why his master, the Golden Dragon King, resisted the invisible force that was trying to seize him. Because this Dou Di Hanoi has only one chance. Once attracted by that invisible force, Xiao Yan also lost his qualifications to find other tyrannical fighting emperors. Not bad. As for the tyranny of this Dou Di, when you get it, you'll know how huge the difference is between one of these grades. The Golden Dragon King also smiled slowly. Hearing that, Xiao Yan was also excited. Obviously, when he fought against the Soul Heaven Emperor in the Dou Qi continent, he knew the tyranny of the Dou Emperor's body, so he was unavoidably excited when he wanted to regain the Dou Emperor's body. There seems to be an extremely terrifying existence in this Dou Di river. Xiao Yan's huge soul power also covered this Dou Di river, and then Xiao Yan also discovered that the space of this Dou Di river is too complicated. Even if it is his own emperor realm, the soul power of the peak of the ordinary level can only be detected partially. It's just that Xiao Yan also vaguely felt that there seemed to be an extremely terrifying existence in the depths of the Dou Di river, and many surrounding forces were quite afraid of this force. Have you found it? The Golden Dragon King also laughed. The purpose of our trip is him. The Golden Dragon King also laughed. This? Xiao Yan heard the words, his pupils shrank tightly, and his face was full of disbelief. The power in the deepest part of Dou Di Hanoi should be the most powerful being. In front of him, his current strength is just like an ant. But, it's worth a try. Xiao Yan's eyes became hot after being surprised for a while. Although I don't know that the deepest power in Hanoi is a G-rank Dou Emperor, but if I think about it, it will not be weaker than myself. After all, the body of the Dou Emperor that he condensed was only the rank of 6th rank, although Xiao Yan still did not know how far apart there was in the body of the Dou Emperor who was 1 rank. But I can also feel it from my master, the Golden Dragon King. The difference is definitely not a little bit. Let's go then. This power seems to be familiar, maybe it is a strong person I knew before. The Golden Dragon King also pondered a little, and then said, Yeah. Xiao Yan replied softly, and then covered his body with milky white flames, heading towards the depths of the Dou Di river. Along the way, Xiao Yan also encountered a lot of powerful forces. Just from the perspective of his strength, Xiao Yan could feel it. If he obtained the body of Dou Di in a light group of these strengths, his rank should not be lower. But Xiao Yan was heading towards the deepest part of Dou Di Hanoi, because Xiao Yan also knew the purpose of his trip. Old Shu. Mu Shuzi was also in the hall, guarded by the Dou Di river, but at this time an old man appeared outside the Dou Di river. The old man had a lazy face, but his eyes were fixed on Dou Di, and then he said, What a greedy kid. I actually want to touch the body of the 10th rank Dou Di. The old man who Mu Shuzi called Zhu Lao also spoke slowly. There was some surprise in his voice. What? When Mu Shuzi heard the words, his originally calm expression became strange. This Dou Emperor Hanoi has the body of a 10th rank Dou Emperor. But Mu Shuzi also knew that this 10th rank Dou Emperor was a real power during his lifetime. At least they are much stronger than them. If you really want to say it, it seems that only the pavilion master of the incense-burning pavilion who sees the head but does not see the end can be compared. Moreover, Mu Shuzi seemed to remember that the old Shu in front of him also tried to challenge this 10th rank fighting emperor when he was young. The result? He was completely tortured. So this is also the shame of Shu Lao these years. However, Elder Zhu's current status is that of the elder of their human palace. The elders who can join the 3 halls of heaven, Earth and people have the lowest strength and must reach the level of the 7-star fighting emperor. This Xiao Yan is really a daring boy. But if you have the ability, you can show me this 10th rank Do Di. Mu Shuzi also said slowly to Do Di Hanoi. Hey, this kid really isn't a fuel-efficient lamp. Old Zhu shook his head too, and then stopped talking. The two quietly waited for their success outside the Do Di River. This video will end here.